In the last few days, a striking radar anomaly has been circulating widely across social media, leaving many both fascinated and unsettled. The anomaly in question revealed a massive circular formation, nearly 25 miles wide, spanning across portions of Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio. What has captured so much attention is not only the sheer size of this anomaly, but the fact that it was not fleeting. For more than 20 minutes, radar data showed the presence of this circular ring moving with the clouds before it faded from view. At first glance, some dismissed the image as nothing more than a glitch, an occasional quirk that can appear on weather radar systems. However, the persistence and definition of the ring quickly ruled out such a simple explanation. Unlike typical radar distortions, this anomaly was recorded for nearly half an hour, moving in unison with the surrounding cloud systems. The precision of the circular formation suggested that something unusual was indeed present in the atmosphere above the affected region. The anomaly spanned a vast area, covering cities such as Fort Wayne, Kokomo, and stretching outward across multiple state lines. Meteorologists observing the event have been unable to reach a consensus on what exactly was recorded, while citizens who witnessed the anomaly unfold online have been left with a mixture of awe and apprehension. The question remains, what could produce such a well-defined circular radar signature that persists for so long? One of the most discussed possibilities is that this could be evidence of advanced military technology being tested. In recent decades, there have been increasing discussions about the use of atmospheric manipulation, stealth shielding, and advanced radar jamming techniques. Some speculate that the ring may have been the atmospheric imprint of a high-energy field or a cloaking system being evaluated by the military. If true, such technology would represent a leap in capability, creating a visible disturbance on radar while remaining hidden from the human eye. Others have suggested that the anomaly could be linked to experimental weather modification techniques. The size and shape of the ring, coupled with its duration, fit the profile of directed energy interacting with cloud systems. If such technologies are being deployed or tested, the implications for weather control would be extraordinary. For the general public, however, the lack of official explanation only deepens the mystery. What stands out most is the silence that has followed. No official agency has stepped forward to provide clarification, leaving observers to draw their own conclusions. This silence has only fueled speculation as citizens across the affected region continue to share and discuss the event. The persistence of the anomaly, its size, and the lack of explanation all suggest that this was far more than a passing radar error. For now, the radar ring stands as one of the most fascinating atmospheric anomalies in recent times. Yet what makes this even more unusual is that it is not an isolated case, as similar weather anomalies have been detected across the globe. Another mysterious radar anomaly has once again captured attention, this time appearing above the skies of Michigan. The strange phenomenon took the form of a massive circular formation, spanning miles across, and was visible for a significant period of time on weather radar systems. Those monitoring the data noticed how the ring-shaped anomaly moved in tandem with surrounding atmospheric activity, yet its formation and definition were unlike anything caused by ordinary weather patterns. Observers who have been following these anomalies closely were quick to point out that this is not the first time such a structure has been detected. In fact, similar circular formations have been reported in recent years across various parts of the United States, sparking discussions about what exactly could be causing these unusual signatures. While some dismissed them as simple glitches, the persistence and scale of these anomalies have led many to believe that something far more complex is unfolding above the region. Adding to the mystery, insiders have quietly suggested that advanced military testing could be responsible for the strange radar readings. According to these individuals, projects involving energy-based technology, atmospheric manipulation, or even advanced radar countermeasures may occasionally leave behind these large-scale imprints on civilian weather systems. However, despite growing speculation, official statements have been noticeably absent. The military has not taken accountability for these events, leaving the public to piece together the puzzle on their own. For residents of Michigan and those across social media, the sight of such an enormous circular anomaly hovering above the state raises many questions. The sheer size of the formation, coupled with its defined and symmetrical shape, does not resemble the randomness of natural weather. To many, this suggests deliberate design, a byproduct of technology operating on a scale most people can hardly imagine. What unsettles observers even more is the consistency of these events. If these anomalies were truly glitches, they would not repeatedly manifest with such clarity and structure. Each new sighting adds weight to the belief that something significant is happening quietly behind the scenes. Whether it is linked to atmospheric experiments, classified technology, or even unknown aerial phenomena, the absence of transparent answers only deepens the intrigue. For now, the Michigan anomaly remains one of the most talked about radar events in recent memory. Its size, persistence, and the silence surrounding it have left many with the impression that much more is going on in the skies than the public is being told. Until accountability is taken, the mystery will continue to fuel questions, and each new anomaly will be studied with growing intensity by those determined to uncover the truth. A new radar anomaly has sparked conversation after appearing above India, lingering in the skies for 14 minutes. The strange, circular formation was detected by weather systems in the region and quickly brought to wider attention after being discovered by an avid skywatcher who shared the footage across social media platforms. The circular shape stood out immediately, not resembling ordinary storm activity, and its persistence on the radar added weight to the claim that this was not a fleeting glitch. The anomaly appeared as a perfectly rounded formation, sharply defined against the backdrop of scattered weather patterns. Unlike the irregular movements typically seen with rainfall or storm systems, this ring maintained its shape for an extended duration before finally fading from view. Its duration of 14 minutes only deepened the mystery, as short-lived radar errors rarely maintain such consistency. To many, the footage represented yet another piece in a growing puzzle that has recently captivated observers worldwide. This anomaly in India joins a long and expanding list of similar circular radar signatures that have been detected across the globe. In the past year alone, large rings have been recorded above parts of the United States and Europe, each time sparking debates about their origins. The repeated occurrence of these anomalies has led many to wonder if a broader pattern is unfolding, one that links regions and events in ways that scientists have yet to fully explain. Some have speculated that these rings may be connected to testing of advanced technologies, potentially involving energy or atmospheric manipulation. Others have suggested that they could represent the detection of massive objects or structures temporarily interacting with radar systems in ways beyond conventional explanation. What makes the Indian anomaly especially intriguing is that it was not hidden within storm systems, but stood out prominently, as if deliberately etched into the radar data. Social media communities following these anomalies were quick to highlight how global weather networks continue to display them without offering definitive explanations. Each time, the same questions are raised. If these are simply technical errors, why do they occur so frequently? Why do they appear in such uniform shapes? And why do they last for extended periods? The lack of direct answers has only added to public speculation and interest. For the skywatcher who first noticed the Indian anomaly, the discovery represents more than just a curiosity. It is a reminder that there may be far more occurring in the skies above us than is openly acknowledged. The footage, now widely circulated, has contributed to a sense that these radar rings may be a sign of hidden forces or technologies operating quietly above our heads. For now, the Indian radar anomaly remains unexplained. Yet its appearance adds momentum to the growing belief that these phenomena cannot be dismissed so easily. Whether caused by advanced technology, atmospheric experimentation, or something entirely unknown, its 14-minute presence is one more example of the mysteries unfolding in our skies. In an era of advanced technology and scientific exploration, the unexpected appearance of a massive circular object on weather radar above Mexico has stirred intrigue and speculation. Detected by an online user monitoring atmospheric conditions, this anomaly has captured the attention of UFO enthusiasts and the general public. On a seemingly ordinary day, weather radar systems across Mexico picked up an unusual and massive circular object high above the country. This object, unlike any typical meteorological phenomenon, presented as a well-defined circular formation, prompting immediate curiosity and concern among meteorologists. The radar signature was first noticed by someone who was looking through the application, with them saying that they were monitoring routine weather patterns. The object appeared as a large, circular anomaly with clear edges, distinguishable from the surrounding weather data. Initial assessments suggested that the object was stationary at a high altitude, but its precise nature remained unclear. News of the detection spread quickly through public channels, with online users speculated as to what could have been causing this mysterious anomaly. Social media platforms were abuzz with speculation, and news outlets began reporting on the mysterious object. The appearance of such a distinct and massive object on weather radar has led to numerous hypotheses, ranging from conventional meteorological phenomena to more exotic theories. One of the more mundane explanations is that the object could be a weather balloon. However, this was very quickly rejected due to the size of the object. Certain atmospheric conditions can create unusual radar reflections. However, the precise circular shape and the lack of corresponding visual phenomena make this explanation less convincing. Some suggest that the object could be a military or experimental aircraft. Given the size and altitude, it could be part of a classified operation involving advanced technology. Governments often conduct tests that are not disclosed to the public, and such an explanation could account for the secrecy and peculiar radar signature. Nonetheless, no official statements or confirmations have been made by military authorities. The most interesting hypothesis is that the object is an extraterrestrial craft. UFO enthusiasts have pointed to the precise circular shape and the stationary position as evidence supporting this theory. This object, distinct from any known meteorological phenomenon, appeared on radar screens as a well-defined stationary formation. Its size and shape resembled that of a colossal disk, leading to immediate curiosity and concern among the observers. The object was first detected by a weather radar station, which initially registered it as a potential atmospheric anomaly. However, further analysis revealed that the object maintained a consistent altitude and showed a solid, dense radar signature, distinguishing it from typical weather formations like clouds or storm systems. The anomaly measured over 100 miles in diameter, making it significantly larger than any known aircraft or natural atmospheric occurrence. The detection of such a massive unidentified object has led to various hypotheses, ranging from conventional to extraordinary. The scientific community has traditionally been skeptical of UFO sightings due to a lack of credible evidence. However, the detailed radar data and pilot observations in this case provide a compelling basis for further study. Interdisciplinary research involving radar technology, aerospace engineering, and atmospheric science is crucial for understanding and potentially explaining such phenomena. From a security perspective, the appearance of a massive unidentified object in national airspace is a cause for concern. Many users who saw the anomaly said that the Mexican government, along with international allies, must assess the potential threat posed by such objects. This incident may prompt increased investment in advanced radar and tracking systems, as well as the development of protocols for responding to UAP encounters. Public interest in UFOs has been reignited by this event, highlighting the enduring fascination with extraterrestrial life and unexplained phenomena. The incident has sparked widespread media coverage and discussion, contributing to a growing movement advocating for transparency and disclosure regarding UFO sightings. Governments and scientific institutions may face increasing pressure to release information and conduct open investigations into unidentified objects. Regardless of the object's true nature, its detection has broader implications for science, public perception, and the discourse surrounding unidentified aerial phenomena. The detection of the circular object has reignited public interest in UFOs and unidentified aerial phenomena. This event has been added to the growing list of unexplained occurrences that captivate the public imagination. Such incidents often prompt discussions about the limitations of our current scientific understanding and the possibility of extraterrestrial life. As of right now, the detection of a massive circular object on weather radar above Mexico remains a mystery, challenging our understanding of atmospheric phenomena and the capabilities of current technology. While conventional explanations such as weather balloons, atmospheric anomalies, or military aircraft have been considered, none fully account for the observed characteristics. This leaves the door open to more exotic theories, including the possibility of extraterrestrial origin. Like many other countries in the world, Mexico has seen UFO sightings for many years. However, sightings have been especially frequent there since the early 1990s, and the Mexican UFO wave. In the early evening of March 5, 2004, numerous Mexican Air Force pilots saw and recorded 11 unexplained objects flying over Campeche State, Mexico. At a little over 12,000 feet, these light orbs suddenly materialized and encircled the jet as it conducted its usual anti-drug trafficking surveillance operation. Oddly enough, only 3 of the things that the pilots were plainly able to see appeared on the aircraft's radar system. The article states that the entire flight of the Air Force Merlin bimotor aircraft was captured on advanced, high-tech digital recording equipment while it flew its route. The plane's primary purpose was to report anything of interest so that combat aircraft might be scrambled if necessary. Since this was a surveillance and detection mission rather than a combat mission, it was not outfitted for combat. The crew initially noticed unknown traffic at 5 in the afternoon. Núñez turned the aircraft around and flew in the direction of the target because he thought it might be a trafficking plane and wanted to look into it more. He reported the abnormality to the control tower by radio as he was doing this. The jet abruptly and frighteningly vanished into the distance as it got closer to the unidentified object. Núñez and the other members of the crew realized at this time that they were dealing with something far more unusual. The thing moved so swiftly that the team was taken aback and momentarily confused on what to do. Then suddenly, it was there again, behind them. They had yet to establish visual contact, but they could see the thing on the radar. A second item emerged on the radar, behind them as well, and they rapidly surveyed the sky with their eyes. Núñez radioed the events back to the control tower as they were occurring. As for the objects, they were still tracking the jet, based on radar signals at least. Based on their observation, it appeared that the unidentified object was deliberately maintaining the same distance from the aircraft, indicating that they were, for the time being at least, only keeping an eye on it. The crew should have been able to detect the objects with their own eyes in addition, given the radar data. They were all perplexed, though, as visible proof of their airborne presence remained evaded thus far. After then, the aircraft executed a number of prearranged maneuvers in an effort to obtain visual confirmation of the unusual craft. But in spite of this, their radar data plainly indicated that there was something in the skies, and none of the crew was able to see it. They witnessed several additional objects suddenly appear on their radar screens as they persisted in their attempts to detect these mysterious things visually. Things were going to get rather dramatic. The crew took a moment to collect themselves before realizing that 9 new objects had emerged on the radar screen, indicating that 11 unknown things were now pursuing their aircraft, none of which they could currently see. Núñez reported these additional arrivals right away, starting to seriously consider the danger he and the crew could be in at this point. The crew was more than startled, as the objects abruptly moved into a circular posture, fully encircling their jet as they watched the events unfold on the radar screen. Furthermore, these objects were now very close together, based on the radar. Nevertheless, the crew was unable to see them. The crew maintained their composure in spite of the genuinely strange circumstances. Lieutenant German Marin, the radar operator, admitted to being a little afraid since they were facing something that had never happened before. Major Magdaleno Jasso Núñez, the pilot, stated that the objects, or the intelligence behind them, were well aware that the plane would eventually pursue the mysterious lights. Although he was unable to identify the bizarre objects, Lieutenant Mario Adrian Vasquez, the third pilot and infrared operator, said they were completely real. Núñez decided to switch off all of the lights in their car after a few moments to see if it would improve the problem. Suddenly, after a few moments, the objects vanished. They didn't come back this time. Following the occurrence, the Mexican Department of Defense conducted a thorough inquiry, which was conducted with extreme seriousness. In fact, General Clemente Vega Garcia took it so seriously that he assigned television journalist Jamie Maussan, who specialized in these areas, to work with him. Maussan had access to all of the data and interviews, and the 3 pilots were urged and granted permission to tell the journalist exactly what happened during the incident. Based on this, it seems reasonable to infer that a sincere effort was made to investigate the occurrence, but no rationalization has ever been offered. However, it would appear that whatever was causing this odd occurrence was extremely intelligent. Furthermore, it is impossible to overlook the parallels with the Pentagon footage. As we will see in a moment, what's even more intriguing is that there may have been a chance for violence to arise from this encounter, according to possibly leaked US documents. But first, let's travel back a little more than 10 years prior to the event and a UFO sighting that thousands of people saw. Witness reports of UFO sightings have been a regular feature of life in Mexico since the summer of 1991. Most people think that the event that started this ongoing wave of sightings happened on July 11, 1991, in the afternoon, when many strange flying objects were sighted over Mexico City for several hours, and thousands of individuals saw these sightings all around the city, and the Mexican government finally looked into them. The fact that many of the sightings took place during a solar eclipse added to the incident's intrigue and memorability. This is probably because so many people saw the objects since they were already focused on the sky. Numerous witnesses reported seeing a large metallic disc that seemed to be a solid object and was traveling deliberately overhead. Guillermo Aragon, a reporter, and James Maussan, a television journalist, the latter of whom was subsequently assigned to look into the incident with the 3 Air Force pilots in 2004, were 2 of those witnesses. In order to watch the movie and write a report on the eclipse, they were walking about Mexico City. They would report on a great deal more, as it turned out. About a week later, the film they had recorded was aired on national television, and the television station was inundated by calls almost immediately from city dwellers claiming they had also seen the weird item. Additionally, a few of them succeeded in filming the thing. For instance, Eric Aguilar stated that he captured the unusual object on camera while documenting the eclipse. Approximately 60 miles away from Aguilar's location, at the same time, Luis Lara recorded an almost identical item on camera. The Breton family recorded an additional object that matched the ones in the first 2 movies about 80 miles away. There appeared to be a strange, wave-like disturbance behind the disc in this specific video, which some viewers said might be an energy trail. A few months following the sighting on July 11th, other people saw an identical object during a military air show. This incident prompted the US government to become actively involved in the UFO phenomenon and the real risk of an assault again, according to an alleged report that the Kremlin prepared for President Medvedev somewhere between 2008 and 2012. The story claims that cables obtained by WikiLeaks showed that the US military had been engaged in a covert conflict of some sort with the entity responsible for these UFOs. Moreover, it seemed that a significant portion of this activity was taking place on or near the Antarctic continent. This military standoff was particularly mysterious since it peaked after an encounter on June 10, 2004, when US intelligence learned of a massive fleet that seemed to materialize out of thin air in the Southern Ocean. This mysterious party abruptly disappeared, appearing to be traveling towards Guadalajara. According to the study, the objects dimensionally returned to the seas of the Southern Ocean. Recently, a video feed from the International Space Station captured an event that has sparked intrigue and debate around the world. A mysterious object appearing in Earth's orbit, allegedly firing green laser-like beams toward the planet. This sighting, which took place during a live stream, has added fuel to ongoing discussions about the existence of extraterrestrial life and the possible implications of such encounters. The video, quickly circulating on social media, has left viewers fascinated and filled with questions, as the object seems to exhibit qualities not typically associated with satellites or space debris. This incident has led some to wonder if humanity may have just witnessed an interaction between an unidentified object and Earth. The event, which occurred during a routine live feed from the International Space Station, initially appeared to show a small, luminous object floating in orbit. However, as viewers observed, a sequence of green laser-like beams seemed to emanate from this object, directed toward Earth. These beams, although brief, were clear enough to be visible on the space station's feed and distinct against the backdrop of space. The suddenness and the striking color of the lights captivated those watching the feed, leading to speculation about the object's origin and purpose. The sight of green beams directed toward Earth immediately invoked images of science fiction, where laser beams are often associated with advanced extraterrestrial technology. This connection to popular culture added to the intrigue and helped the video gain traction across social media platforms. People drew comparisons to iconic scenes from alien-themed movies, adding a layer of fascination and fear to the event. The unusual nature of the object's behavior has led some to believe that it may be of extraterrestrial origin, especially since green lasers are not typically observed in known space phenomena. This sighting has fed into broader theories about the potential for extraterrestrial life to observe or even interact with Earth. The idea of lasers from space, especially directed at Earth, has piqued the interest of UFO enthusiasts, some of whom believe this incident could indicate that extraterrestrial beings are attempting to make contact or send a message. The color and shape of the beams have been at the center of this interpretation, as green laser lights are uncommon in space exploration technology currently used by Earth-based organizations. Green lasers are known for their visibility and precision, which has led to speculation that this beam was not random, but rather directed toward Earth with intentionality. To believers in the extraterrestrial hypothesis, this sighting serves as potential evidence that beings from beyond our planet may be monitoring us. A particularly popular theory among skeptics is that the lasers could have been part of a military or research experiment. The US, China, and other countries are actively developing laser technologies for various purposes, including satellite communication, advanced research, and even military applications. Some suggest that a classified satellite or test project may have inadvertently directed laser beams in such a way that they became visible on the International Space Station feed.